Happy Sunday, happy Easter. Thank you for waking up and getting on your mat at your house and joining us for Sunday Love Yoga Center service. Let's get started. We're gonna move a bit slower and in some more restorative postures today. And we're gonna get started on our backs. So if you have props that you like to use around, you can use props under your knees, you can place something under your head or behind your shoulders, under your heart. There's lots of options. You can just lay here in Shavasana and allow this to be your restorative posture. Or you can bring the soles of your feet together and allow Supta Baddha Konasana to be your opening restorative posture. Or if there's something else that would feel better for you in your body and allow you to find a greater sense of stillness this morning, you can go there. And at any time that this asana or pose or position that you've chosen becomes uncomfortable, you can come out of it and come straight into your Shavasana. And once you feel comfortable on your back, allow your body to get really heavy. You can do whatever feels best with your arms. They can be palm face up next to your body, or they can be on your belly and your heart. There's no right or wrong in this beginning posture. It's just about finding that stillness and allowing your breath to move through your body. And I kind of felt some pressure to be teaching yoga on Easter and like, oh, I have to have a really good theme or Dharma talk. And then I thought, no, just go to your teachers and your teachers' teachers and share what you've learned from them or what they're sharing and keep it simple. So I was looking at Prem Sada Shivananda, who's one of Lahoma and Karen's teachers and Carla's teachers. So we've all really enjoyed learning from him. And he shared something that was so simple and it felt so potent to me when I read it. And so I'll share that with you now. He shared that the teachings of Jesus could be summarized in these words: love thy neighbor as thyself. At the end of the day, the most important question will be, how deep was your love? If the word Jesus has any triggers for you, you can replace it with any word that would fill that in and cause the quote to be more resonant for you. And then he shared something from Shivananda as well, and it says, to live is to love. You live that you may learn to love. And then Prem did a little commentary on it, and he said, there is only one purpose in life. That is to learn to love all. All life challenges, diseases, addictions, and suffering arise from one simple cause, from breaking this grand law of life, the law of love. Every one of our problems can be traced to the lack of love, the love that is being held tightly within the heart. To love all is indeed the most daunting demand of the spirit within. The sooner we come to accepting what we are asked to do, the quicker will be our realization that we are all. Love thy neighbor as thyself. From Prem Sada Shivananda. So here in your stillness, set your intention for your practice this morning. Where can you love thy neighbor as thyself? Where can you offer a little bit of forgiveness, a little bit of grace? Where can you see all beings as one? Coming back to the mantra, Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. And may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. Once your intention is set for your practice, slowly begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to your physical body. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. If your feet are together for Supta Baddha Konasana, maybe take your hands to the outside edges of your knees and bring the knees together, soles of the feet down. If it would feel good for you to take a big stretch overhead, you can point the toes away from you, reach the palms of the hands away. And then everyone meet hugging your knees into your chest. Take your right hand to your right knee and take your left hand to your left knee. And then squeeze your knees kind of like a little V. You're not keeping the knees together. The right thigh is coming towards the right ribs and the left thigh is coming towards the left ribs. And then begin to circle the lower back, or circle the knees and massage the lower back. Massaging the sacrum, all 4 points that touch the ground as you move through the circling of the knees. And then begin to circle the knees in the opposite direction. Once you feel complete in your circling of your knees, hug your knees into your chest, bring your knees together, wrap your forearms around your shins, squeeze the knees in as close as you can while keeping the sacrum grounded, keeping the spine long. And then straighten your left leg out in front of you, flex your left foot, pull your toes back towards your body. The heel is on the mat. Take your right arm out of your right shoulder. Use your left hand to guide your right knee across your body. Gaze over your right shoulder as your right knee comes to navel height and you twist. And then tune into your breath here. When we're twisting like this, sometimes it's really easy to hold our breath or to make our breath shallow. So now really intentionally deepen your breath. Listen for the sound of your own breathing. If you haven't already, constrict the back of your throat for your Ujjayi breath. On your next inhale, come back through center, hug your right knee into your chest, give it a nice squeeze. And then reach for the outside edge of your right foot or your shin. Bend your right knee, bring the right knee outside of the armpit, bring the right hand to the outside edge of the right foot or the shin for happy baby pose, half happy baby pose. And then you might take your left hand to your left hip or your left thigh and just remind your left hip and your left thigh to stay grounded down, to not float up. Keep flexing your left foot. And then release your right foot, hug your right knee into your chest, hug your left knee into your chest. Release your right leg straight out on the mat, flex your right toes. Take your left arm out of your shoulder to a half T, no higher than the shoulder. And then use your right hand to guide your left knee across your body so you're twisting. Try and keep your left shoulder working its way towards the mat. Take your gaze over your left shoulder and breathe here, reaching the right heel and the crown of the head away from each other. And then twisting, letting both shoulders eventually relax towards the mat. Coming back to that deep breath. With each exhale, softening into the space you create on the inhales. On your next inhale, bringing the left leg back through center, giving the left knee a hug in towards your chest. You can keep your right leg straight, or you can place the sole of the right foot on the earth if that helps. I should have mentioned that on the other side. And then begin to bend your left knee, bring the sole of the foot towards the ceiling. The left knee comes towards the outside edge of the left armpit. And then you take your hand to the outside edge of the left foot or the shin, and if the right leg is straight, place your right hand on your right hip and your right thigh. Keep grounding the right leg down. If the right knee's bent, that's good too. And then bring the right leg to mirror the left for full happy baby pose. And you can rock from side to side if that feels good, or you can be still in this happy baby pose, keeping in mind that we haven't really warmed up yet, so just feeling what your body is feeling right now. And then hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. Hold on behind your thighs and either begin to rock back and forth coming into boat pose, or rock over onto your right side and use your left arm to help you come up to a comfortable seat. If you come through boat pose, you'll cross the ankles and come to seated on your mat. Once you're in your comfortable seat, you can either cross one ankle in front of the other for Sukhasana, or you can come to sit on your blocks for Virasana. If you have blankets or blocks, you can sit on the edge of those. Whatever seat is good for you. Finding the spine, the crown of the head reaching up, the sits bones grounding down, feeling the shoulders coming together and down the back. Hands are palm face down on the knees or palm face up. Whatever your body does is great. And we're going to take 3 rounds of alternate nostril breath without using our hands. So it's more of an energetic alternate nostril breath. Give yourself grace. If you feel like you're inhaling through both nostrils, when I say left, that's okay. So first, just take a nice clearing breath, fill all the way up, inhale. Exhale, empty all the way out. One more like that, inhale. And exhale. Inhale through your left nostril, 2, 3, 4. Hold and retain both, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4. Hold and retain, 2, 3, 4. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4. Hold and retain, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4. Hold and retain, 2, 3, 4. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale left, 2, 3, 4. Hold and retain, 2, 3, 4. Exhale right, 2, 3, 4. Inhale right, 2, 3, 4. Hold and retain, 2, 3, 4. Exhale left, 2, 3, 4. Inhale through both nostrils. And exhale through both nostrils. Inhale, float your hands up overhead, bring the palms to touch over your head. And exhale, twist to your right, take your left hand to your right knee, your right hand behind your back, gaze over your right shoulder. With each inhale, reach the crown of the head up. And with each exhale, take the gaze a bit further back. Try not to squeeze your knee with your left fingers, try and be soft with the grip. One more deep Ujjayi breath here, in and out. Inhale, come back to center, take your hands up overhead. Exhale, twist to the other side. Right hand comes to your left knee, left hand comes behind your back, gaze over your left shoulder. And then inhale, lengthen, and exhale, soften into your twist. Moving into the space you create on the inhales. Check in with your right fingers. Are you squeezing your right knee, your left knee? And then inhale, take your hands up overhead. Exhale, bring your hands together through your heart center, and then take them out in front of you, palms face each other. Take your right elbow under your left, bend your elbows, either bring the backs of your palms to touch or bring your palms to touch. Inhale, lift your elbows to shoulder height, and exhale, soften your shoulders down your back. Close your eyes and count 5 of your deepest breaths so far, with each inhale lifting the elbows, and with each exhale softening the shoulders. On your next inhale, release, reach your palms away from each other, pull your shoulders together, pull your fingers back towards your body, but press the palms away. And then bring your hands to your shoulders and begin to circle your elbows. Take the circles in the opposite direction. They can be big or they can be small. And then release the hands from the shoulders, reach them away from you. Palms reach, fingers pull back. Release, bring your hands back in front of you, palms face each other. This time your left elbow comes under your right, and then you bend your elbows. The backs of the hands might meet each other, or you might wrap the palms to find each other. And then inhale, lift the elbows to shoulder height, and exhale, soften both shoulders. Try and keep them on the same plane. And then again, 5 of your own breaths. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, release the arms, reach the palms away from each other, pull the fingers back towards the body, and then let the hands fall down to the earth, tent the fingertips. Inhale, reach the crown of the head up. Exhale, drop the right ear towards the right shoulder. Maybe begin to walk the left fingers away from you. Maybe even lift the left arm off the mat and reach away from you. Maybe take your right hand towards your left ear and help soften the right ear towards the right shoulder a bit more. And then release both hands to the mat. Inhale, take the crown of the head up towards the sky. Exhale, take your left ear towards your left shoulder. Maybe walk your right fingers away from you on the mat, or maybe lift the right arm to feel any deeper stretch. And then maybe take your left hand towards your right ear, guide your left ear towards your left shoulder. Only taking this practice as far as it's good for your body. Anytime it feels like too much, you don't have to do it. Release both hands down, reach the crown of the head up. Take your hands out in front of you, come into tabletop on your hands and your knees. In your tabletop, your wrists are under your shoulders, your knees are under your hips. We're coming into a puppy pose. So if you're not taking puppy pose, child's pose is a nice, very nice alternate pose. Puppy pose, you keep your hips stacked on top of your knees. They stay exactly where they are as you walk your hands forward, bringing your forehead to the earth. You keep grounding down through all 4 corners of the hand, spreading the fingers really wide, pulling belly button towards spine. And then with your third eye center against the mat, come back to your intention. Maybe you can even hear your sound of the Ujjayi breath. And then slowly on your next inhale, walk your hands back under your shoulders, come into your tabletop pose. And then bring your big toes together, take your knees wide, come into a child's pose. Again, listening for the sound of your breath. The knees can be together, they can be apart, your hands can be out in front of you or next to your body. Inhale, lift your forehead off the mat. Take your left hand palm face up and slide it under your right armpit. Coming onto your left shoulder, your left ear. So your left hand is palm face up, your right arm is reaching out in front of you. You can stay here if this feels like a nice opening of the shoulder, or you can walk your right fingers as far over to the left as you can, creating a little bit of a side stretch on the right side of the body and a gentle twist as well. And then no matter where you are in this pose, your breath is deep. You're turning inward maybe by closing your eyes. Your next inhale walks your right hand back out in front of the right shoulder, and then lift your forehead, take your left hand out next to your right. Begin to slide the right hand palm face up under the left armpit, come to rest on the right ear and the right shoulder. Left arm is reaching forward. And then you can take this pose as far as you took it on the other side. So maybe you walk your left fingers over to the right. And then keep breathing and just notice how it feels different with each shoulder. Keep letting the hips sink towards the heels. Nice. And then slowly begin to take both hands out in front of you, forehead to the mat, child's pose. Inhale, slide your hands under your shoulders, bring your knees under your hips. Exhale, step your right foot back, reach through the heel of the right leg. Inhale, take your left foot to meet your right for plank pose. Pull your belly button in towards your spine, spread your fingers really wide. And then begin to rock forward so your shoulders are a bit further than your wrists. Place your knees down on the earth. Bend your elbows, keep your hips up, bring your chest and chin down. Breathe here for 3 breaths. Inhale and exhale. Keep squeezing elbows in towards your body. One more deep Ujjayi breath here. On your next inhale, keep your hands and knees where they are. Slide your heart forward. Place the tops of the feet down. Lift the heart forward and up. And then exhale, lower down. Keep the hands towards the low set of ribs. Bring the big toes, the ankles, and the knees to touch. Setting up for rolling cobras. Option to lift your hands off the mat as you lift your heart. Forehead is to the mat. Inhale, lift your heart. Maybe your hands float with you. Exhale, lower down. Move with your breath 4 more times. Everyone meeting with your forehead against the mat. Setting up for our final cobra pose here on our bellies. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. So during these 5 breaths, you can lift your hands off the mat at any time. When you're ready, on your inhale, lift or just your chest up. Keep the tops of the feet down, engage the quads so the knees are lifted. Keep creating space between the shoulders and the ears, bringing the shoulders on the back and down. And then slowly begin to lower down. Turn one cheek to the mat, release the hands next to your body. You can rock your hips from side to side a bit. Turn the other cheek to the mat. Bring your forehead to the mat. Bring your hands next to your lowest set of ribs. Keep the tops of the feet on the earth. Begin to straighten the arms, lifting the thighs and the knees off the mat, coming into upward facing dog. Roll over the tops of the feet. Come onto the soles of the feet for downward facing dog. Shake your head yes and no. Take any movements that work for you in your downward facing dog, bending one knee at a time. Maybe lifting a leg into the air. To check your alignment in your downward facing dog, you'll just come forward to a plank pose. See that your shoulders are over your wrists, belly buttons in towards your spine, and then you lift the hips back up into the sky. Take your right leg up into the air, reach with the heel of the foot, keep the toes down, and then begin to stack the right hip on top of the left, turn the toes out, bend the right knee, maybe give yourself a little kick. Keep both shoulders square towards the mat. Inhale, bring your right leg square to the mat, straighten the right leg. Bend your knee, bring your right knee towards your nose, step your right foot between your hands. Option to keep your legs straight or to place the back knee down. This is your practice. Everyone take your hands up overhead, either for Untitled or lifted high lunge. Reach the fingertips up, bring the shoulders down and back. If the back leg is straight, really straighten the leg. Everyone setting up for a twist, bring your hands together in front of your heart center. Take your left elbow outside of your right knee. Use your right hand to stack your right shoulder on top of your left. Deepen your breath. If your back leg is straight, place your back knee down, uncurl your toes. Everyone inhale, take your hands up overhead for Anjaneyasana. Exhale, bring your hands behind your head, let your elbows come wide. Inhale, lift and lengthen, and then exhale, take a gentle upper back bend. So just letting the heart lift towards the sky. Inhale, come back to center, release the hands up overhead. Exhale, bring the hands down to frame the right foot. Tuck your left toes under. Option to take your right leg up into the air for a 3-legged dog or place your right foot next to your left for downward facing dog. Stay in your downward facing dog or come through a vinyasa. You can keep the leg lifted for your vinyasa, and you can either do knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. If you do knees, chest, chin, you do cobra. If you do chaturanga, you do up dog. Everyone meeting back in your downward facing dog. Taking child's pose anytime that you need to, and then meeting back up with us when you're ready. Always coming back to your breath. Let your left leg float up into the air. And then begin to stack the left hip on top of the right, bend your left knee, keep your shoulders square to the mat. Maybe give yourself a little kick. Square the hips back towards the mat, straighten your left leg, and then bend your left knee towards your nose, step your left foot between your hands. Again, option to keep the back leg extended or place the back knee down. Everyone inhale, take the hands up overhead for Untitled or lifted high lunge. Reach the fingertips up overhead and then bring the hands together in front of your heart center. Twist to the left. Right elbow comes outside of the left knee. Left hand stacks the left shoulder on top of the right. Breathe deeply. Beautiful, nice stuff. Ernesto looking good. If your back leg is extended, place your back knee down. Everyone inhale, take your hands up for Anjaneyasana. Feel your shoulders fall down your back, create space between the shoulders and the ears. And then take the hand, the other pinky on the top, interlace the hands behind the back, let the elbows spread wide. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, let the heart lift towards the sky. 3 breaths here. Inhale, come back to center, release the hands up overhead, and then exhale, bring the hands down to frame your left foot. Tuck your right toes under, straighten your right leg, take your left leg either up into the air for 3-legged dog, or place the left foot next to the right. Stay in your downward facing dog, or do a vinyasa, or jump into handstand, or come into child's pose. As you can hear, the options are endless in your practice and what your body wants to do, so always make this about your body, not about what I'm saying. About your breath, where you can find sweetness in your breath. Everyone meeting back in your downward facing dog from wherever you are. And then take your gaze between your thumbs, walk, step, or jump your feet towards the front of your mat. Lift and lengthen the spine. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold over your legs. Hold on to opposite elbows and hang in ragdoll, or take your favorite arm variation. Shake your head yes and no. Release your toes off the mat. If you're squeezing the mat with your toes, let them just softly rest there. You can always keep the knees bent if straightening the legs is too much for the lower back. And then release your arms, let them hang heavy. Bend your knees and round up to stand, stacking one vertebrae on top of the next. Coming to meet in your Tadasana, mountain pose. Setting up for the breath of joy together. So I'll show you what it looks like and then we'll do it together 6 times. The breath of joy is a 3-part inhale and an exhale out of the mouth. We get the arms involved here. So it looks like this. Inhale, inhale, inhale. Exhale out of the mouth as you bend your knees and take your hands back. So first take a clearing breath together. If you need to move around so you have space to move your arms, please do that. Take a deep breath together, inhale. Exhale, let it all go. Begin, inhale, 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 exhale, inhale, 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 exhale. Two more. Inhale, come to Tadasana, close your eyes if that's comfortable. Feel the prana moving throughout your body. Feel your Ujjayi breath, smooth it out. Allow your eyes to float open, come to the front of your mat, find Tadasana. Setting up for Surya Namaskar V. Inhale, bend your knees, Utkatasana, take your hands up overhead, chair pose. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, step or jump back for Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, chin. Inhale for upward facing dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. Inhale, take your right foot between your hands. Let your left heel come in and down, hands up. Exhale, bring your hands down. One breath, step your right foot back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, your left foot comes between your hands, right heel in and down, hands up. Exhale, one breath, hands come down, left foot steps back, bend the elbows, Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog for 5 breaths. Inhale. Exhale 2. Inhale. Exhale 3. Inhale. Exhale 4. Inhale. Exhale 5. Bend your knees deeply. Take your gaze in front of your hands. Walk, step, or jump your feet towards the front of your mat. Inhale, lift and lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, Tadasana, mountain pose. Inhale, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Twist, left elbow outside of your right knee. Check in with your knees that they're next to one another. Don't let your left knee come too far forward, and breathe. Inhale, take your hands back up overhead, Utkatasana, chair pose. Exhale, interlace your hands behind your back. Straighten your legs as you fold over your legs. Let your hands fall away from your low back. Come back to your Ujjayi breath. Slowly begin to bend your knees. Release your hands from behind your back. Take your hands up overhead, Utkatasana. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart center. Right elbow outside of your left knee. Left shoulder stacks on top of right. Keep your knees even. Keep your hips square. Inhale, come back to center. Take your hands up overhead. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, lift halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, place your hands on the earth, walk, step, or jump your feet back. Move through your final vinyasa of Chaturanga Dandasana or knees, chest, chin, upward dog or cobra. Exhale to downward facing dog. 5 breaths here, child's pose or handstand, up to you. Nice handstands, Karen. Straighten the arms in downward facing dog if you can. Nice, Christina. Everyone slowly begin to make your way into plank pose. And then lower down your knees, chest and chin to the earth. Keep the elbows squeezing in towards the body. Keep the hips up. Inhale, slide through for Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Exhale, place one hand on top of the other, place the forehead down on the tops of the hands. Shake your hips from side to side a bit, release any tension in the low back. Keep your forehead on your hands. Keep your hands and your forehead on the earth. As you inhale, lift just your elbows off the earth. Exhale, lower the elbows down. One more like that. Inhale, lift the elbows. Exhale, lower the elbows down. Keeping the forehead on the hands, now we're going to lift the forehead and the hands off of the earth. So bring your big toes, your ankles, your knees together. Engage your quads so the knees lift off the mat, the tops of the feet are grounded. Inhale, lift the forehead and the hands off the earth. Keep the spine long. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift your forehead off your hands. Bring your elbows under your shoulders. Point your fingers forward for Sphinx pose. Check that you can touch opposite elbows with your fingers when you bend the elbows so that you know they're no wider than shoulder width. And then like you're trying to slide your mat back towards you, pull your elbows towards your body without actually moving them. Feel your heart opening. Check in with your gaze. You don't need to look up. You don't need to look down. Just keep the back of the neck long. Keep pressing into both forearms a lot. You have the option to stay here in your back bend or to take it a bit deeper. You'll take your left arm diagonally in front of your body, bend your right knee, reach for your right foot with your right hand, bring your right heel towards your right hip. But don't sink in on your left shoulder, so keep pushing the left forearm into the earth. Beautiful. Release your right foot down, take both arms out in front of you. Turn your right arm diagonally in front of your body, bend your left knee, reach for your left foot with your left hand, bring the left heel towards the left hip. Keep pressing into the right forearm so you're not sinking in on that right shoulder. And then release your left leg, bring both fingers to the front. Elbows are under shoulders. 5 breaths in your Sphinx pose. Check with your gaze. Keep your eyes on one point for these 5 breaths and breathe deeply here, pulling belly button towards spine. Slowly begin to lower down. Take the elbows wide. Place the forehead on top of the backs of one of the hands. Bend your knees and windshield wiper from side to side. Slowly begin to make your way onto your back. Don't hug your knees into your chest just yet. When you get there, we're doing a few more back bends. Once you're on your back, place the soles of the feet down. Check that you can touch your heel with your longest finger. We're setting up for some rolling bridges. So in these rolling bridges, you want to connect your breath with your movement. You want to lift your hips and your hands at the same time. And ideally, when the hips reach the highest point of your bridge pose, your hands touch the earth over your head. And then as you lower down on your exhale, your hips and hands might touch the earth at the same time. We're going to do 8 of these, linking our breath and our movement. Don't let your knees fall out to the side. Try and keep them directly over the ankles. When you're ready, setting up with your inhales, you'll lift everything up. And the exhales, you'll lower down. Nice, slow, deep breathing, everybody. Ernesto, it's like your hands are tracing the outline of the globe. It's pretty neat. Once you are complete with your rolling bridges, meet on your back with your feet still on the earth. Check that your feet haven't moved, so make sure you can touch your heels with your longest finger. And then we're setting up for our favorite variation of bridge. So if you have props around and you'd like to take a supported bridge, that's what I would be doing if I had a block at home. Nice. You can place it under your sacrum. If you don't have a block at home, you can interlace your hands under your low back. You can continue with rolling bridges, or you can hook your thumbs under your hips. So when you're ready, you'll inhale, you'll lift your hips, and you'll come into your favorite variation of your bridge pose. Keeping the knees over the ankles, don't let them splay out to the side. Nice. Keep lifting the chest towards the chin. And then keep your gaze where it is. You don't need to turn your head from side to side for any reason in your bridge pose. Coming back to your intention for your practice with your open heart. Where can you love more deeply? more unconditionally. Slowly begin to lower down one vertebrae at a time. And then everyone heel toe your feet as wide as your mat. Let your knees fall towards the center. Begin to windshield wiper your legs from side to side. Next time the knees drop over to the left, let them stay there. The feet are as wide as the mat. We're going to come into a nice psoas stretch. So you'll take your left ankle and you'll place it just higher than your right knee on your right thigh. You don't want it on the knee joint, just above the knee. And then let the weight of the left leg guide the inside of the right knee towards the mat. Stay here or take your right hand up and overhead for a nice psoas stretch. The deeper you breathe in this stretch, the deeper the muscle gets to stretch and relax. Release your right arm down, place your left foot as wide as your mat, and then windshield wiper the knees again from side to side. This time when they drop over to the right, let them stay there. Take your right ankle and place it just above the left knee, so not on the knee joint, on the thigh above the knee joint. And then let the weight of the right leg guide the inner left thigh towards the mat. Stay here or take your left hand up and overhead, creating even longer of a psoas stretch. Again, coming back to your breath, letting your body be heavy with the exhales. Release your left hand next to your body. Take your right foot as wide as your mat. Windshield wiper the legs again from side to side. And then hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a little squeeze. Option to rock over onto your right side and make your way up to seated, or hold on behind your thighs, rock back and forth. Taking your legs straight out in front of you. Hug your right knee in towards your chest once you're seated. And then step your right foot outside of your left knee. You can keep your left leg straight, or you can rock onto your left hip and bend your left knee so the heel of the left foot comes next to the right sits bone. You want both sits bones rounded if you do bend that left knee. And then take your right hand behind your right hip, take your left arm up, and then the left elbow comes outside of the right knee, the gaze comes over the right shoulder. Keep pressing the big toe mound of the right foot down a lot. Keep the hips squaring forward, don't let one come back. And then the gaze comes over the right shoulder if that's comfortable on your neck. Inhale, come back to center. Straighten your left leg if it's bent, and then straighten the right leg next to the left. Take your left knee into your chest. Step your left foot outside of your right knee. An option to keep the right leg straight or rock onto the right hip, bend the right knee so the right heel comes next to the left sits bone or left hip. Left hand comes behind the hip, right arm reaches up on an inhale. As you exhale, the right elbow comes outside of your left knee and you gaze over your left shoulder. Keep pressing the big toe mound of the left foot down. Keep the hips squaring forward. You don't need your left hip to pull back with you as you twist. Nice. Inhale, come back to center. Straighten your right leg out in front of you. Bring the left foot next to it. Hug your right knee into your chest again. This time, let your right knee drop out to the side as the sole of the right foot comes to the inner left thigh. Square the upper body over the left leg. If that right knee is floating, place a blanket or a pillow or a block, something under the right knee so that there's no space. And then inhale, take the hands up overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, fold over your left leg. Reaching your heart towards the top of your left foot. Keep your spine long. Keep your breath deep. Try not to let the right shoulder lift. Sometimes our right shoulder tends to be higher than our left. Try and square the shoulders so that they're on the same plane. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your right knee into your chest. Give your right foot about a fist or 2 fists width distance away from the inner left thigh. Take your left hand behind your back. Inhale, reach your right arm up and take the right hand for the inside of the left foot. You can stay here reaching the left hand for the outside of the left foot, or you can come into Marichyasana with an arm bind. So taking your right shoulder to the inside of the right knee joint, and then bending the elbow, reaching the right hand for your right hip area, and then taking your left hand behind your back and maybe finding your fingers. If you find the bind, you can use the bind to help guide your heart forward in your forward fold. If you're bound, undo your bind. Inhale, come back to center. Everyone take your right ankle, place it just above your left knee. Take your hands behind your back, begin to bend your left knee, bringing the sole of the left foot down. You can stay here in a figure 4 pose, opening the right hip, keeping the spine long, reaching the heart towards the shin, or you can heel toe your left foot towards the right side of your mat, and you can bring the right knee on top of the left for Agnisthambasana, fire log pose. Wherever you are, keep lengthening the spine. And if you're in Agnisthambasana and it's in your practice to fold forward, reach your heart forward. If you're in fire log, come back to center. And then everyone take your legs wide for Upavista Konasana. We'll do the other side after we take a nice forward fold. Inhale, take your hands up overhead. Flex your feet. Exhale, hinge at your hips. Take your heart forward. Don't round your spine here, so keep reaching your heart forward. Maybe come onto your forearms if that's available to you, or maybe keep the hands down. If you have props that are helpful, like placing a block under your forehead or any props that you like to use in this practice, you're welcome to do so. Inhale, come back to center. Bring your legs straight out in front of you, setting up for the other side. Hug your left knee into your chest, and then let the left knee drop out to the side so the sole of the left foot is at the inner right thigh. If your left knee is floating, you can place something under your left knee. Square your upper body over your right leg by using your hands to kind of just micro twist. Inhale, take your hands up. Exhale, hinge at your hips, take your heart forward. Again, reaching your heart towards the top of the right foot. Notice if you're lifting your gaze, you can tuck your chin probably, feeling the back of the neck long, taking any wrinkles out of the back of the neck. Checking in with the shoulders. On your next inhale, coming back through center. Taking the left knee, sole of the left foot down, checking that you have about a fist distance between the left foot and the right inner thigh. Right hand comes behind your back, left hand reaches for the inside of the right foot. You can stay here and reach the right hand for the outside of the right foot, or you can take the left hand in front of the left thigh, reach the left hand for the left hip, and then take the right hand behind the back. Nice hand. If your fingers meet each other, you can use that bind to help reach your heart forward, or if you have a towel or a blanket around, you can always reach for the blanket. Otherwise, our hands are on our right foot or reaching towards our right foot, and that's a great place to be. Everyone release your bind. Inhale, come back to center. Take your left ankle and place it on top of your right knee. Take your hands behind your back, bend your right knee, place the sole of the right foot down. Stay in figure 4, flexing your left foot, reaching the crown of the head up, reaching your heart towards your left shin, or heel toe your right foot to the left side of your mat. Let your left knee come to the top of your right ankle for Agni-stambhasana. And if you're in fire log pose and you have space between your knee and your ankle, you can place something there, or you can just kind of let gravity work. If you're folding forward in your practice, feel free to fold forward. Inhale, come back to center. If you're in Agni-stambhasana, release your legs out in front of you. If you're in figure 4, take your legs out in front of you, bend one knee at a time. Set up for your favorite inversion. So if headstand is in your practice and you feel comfortable taking a headstand, feel free to do so. If you need a wall for a headstand, you can do that. Shoulder stand is available, or legs up the wall. And if you have a wall around, you can just throw your legs up the wall and enjoy that. We've got about a minute or 2 in this inversion, so do what is best for you for the next moment. Know that if you come through shoulder stand, you can come through plow pose to set up for a nice, comfortable shoulder stand. If you have a strap around, you can always use that for legs up the wall as well. Nice headstands, everybody. Nice shoulder stands. Steph, 2 straps for the legs up the wall. I like that. Any variations in this inversion that feel good for you? If you're in shoulder stand, you can do plow pose, you can come into candlestick, you can come into lotus pose. Headstand, it might feel good to come into Baddha Konasana or Upavista Konasana, Hanumanasana legs. You can play around as much as you'd like. Nice, Janet. About 10 more breaths wherever you are. So if you feel like there's something you need to do in this pose to feel good about completing it, please do that. It might look like a plow pose. The counter pose for headstand is child's pose. The counter pose for shoulder stand is fish pose. The counter pose for legs up the wall can be a little bit longer in legs up the wall, or you can hug your knees into your chest and come into a fish pose if that would feel good for you. Nice fish, everybody. Once your counter pose feels complete, the next place that we're going together is to Shavasana. So if you're in legs up the wall and that's where you want to stay for Shavasana, please by all means stay there. If there's any poses or final movements that you need to take before your Shavasana, please do that. Nice, Beth. If you want to take Supta Baddha Konasana for your Shavasana, that's always available. If a blanket or any props would make this final relaxation pose more comfortable for you, find those props now. Once you're there, let your hands be palm face up next to your body. Let your body be heavy. Let go of the work that you've done to get here. Let go of control of your breath, the pranayama practice. Just be. In your Shavasana, begin to imagine a bright green, glowing light at your heart center. With each inhale, feel this light growing brighter and bigger. And with each exhale, expand this light out into the world. We're going to do a meditation on love from Prem Sadashivananda's book, Open Your Heart to Love. So this whole meditation, you're going to be envisioning this green ball of energy. Imagine this green ball of loving energy encompassing our dearest ones. They come first since they are the easiest to love. Expand this love for those who have given more than you were able to appreciate, such as your teachers, parents, or neighbors. Expand this love to encompass those whose suffering is obvious, the afflicted, poor, sick, dying, or abandoned beings. Expand this love to encompass the people towards whom we have neutral or no feelings. Expand this love and allow it to encompass those who may dislike us or even hate us, those who we may have hurt in some ways. Expand this love to encompass those who may have hurt us, and thus we have coincidentally made into our enemies. Allow the love to expand and encompass nature. Love for animals, fish, rocks, plants, flowers, bushes. Love for mountains, hills, oceans, rivers, lakes, the sky. Love for the earth, sun and the moon, all the planets in the whole universe. Love for the creator of this wonderful world and the creator of our lives. Allowing your love to radiate out from you onto the whole entire universe. Not letting it skip over any beings or any hidden places. Keep this glowing green energy surrounding you as you begin to deepen your breath. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle your wrists and your ankles. Take a big stretch overhead, reach into opposite directions. Hug your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. Gently rock over onto your right side, support your head with your bottom arm. Use your top arm to help you find a comfortable seat on your mat. Bring your hands together in front of your heart center. Release the 3 middle fingers. Keep the pinky and the thumb together. Release the palm of your hand. So the bottoms of your hands are still touching your palms open. Allow the love that you shared in the meditation in Shavasana to flow right into your hands, right in front of your heart center. Maybe feeling a tingling sensation. Maybe there's warmth or coolness. Remember your intention for your practice. And as you do that, seal your hands in front of your palms or in front of your heart. We'll seal our practice by chanting Om and allowing the Om, the sound of the Om, the vibration of the Om to radiate to all of the beings that we shared this meditation with. So first a clearing breath together, inhale and exhale. With this inhale, the sound of Om, deep breath in. Bow your head to your heart in gratitude for the discipline that it takes to show up on your mat, for the love that you share on your mat, and for the love that you receive on your mat. The light in me sees and honors the light in each of you. Namaste. Thank you all for sharing your Sunday morning with us.